Okay, so a very welcome in today's class. So we'll have now series of discussion every week. We'll have 2 sessions on the discussion but I'll be starting from my section. I take my area is polity and economy. So I'm starting with the economy today, and I'll be covering only 10 questions. And then in next week, the reason is I need 3.5 hour to complete the entire section. So today we are going to start with the Indian economy section, and let's see the questions that have come. The first question is, in order to make national growth inclusive, no state should be left behind. What steps can be taken to achieve the industrial growth and economic inclusion? Industrial growth and economic inclusion. So what is the first step? How do you start with this question? So naturally you are going to start with the concept of inclusive growth. So let's see the keyword. Now if you look at this, so inclusive, this no state should be left behind. So we'll talk about inclusive growth, and we have to talk about the interstate disparity among the state with reference to inclusive growth. Then we are going to suggest ways and measures. How do we achieve industrial growth and economic inclusion? So if you look at the question itself, the demand is very clear. They want to discuss the equitable growth of Indian state, and we'll compare the states which have not done well, and we are trying to give the data and fact accordingly. Okay. Start with the concept of inclusive growth, then discuss the inequality among the states which is there. Also give the fact data related to the inequality. You have to collate the fact data, and then you can conclude. Okay. So define the inclusive growth. Now what is inclusive growth? Any growth which reaches the last section of society, right? Okay, so growth which focuses on redistribution and equity. Now question comes, why we are discussing inclusive growth? Why do we need inclusive growth? Because if we see historically, the growth in India has not been inclusive. Okay, so there are disparities in society, and when you look at the question itself, they are saying in order to make national growth inclusive, no state should be left behind. So the idea of development or idea of growth should focus on balanced regional development. Balanced regional development. So you can define inclusive growth in your own simple words, and you can give data as well. So this growth which includes everybody, there is a participation and there is an equitable distribution of the resources. Now what are the challenges faced by the various states? So challenges, so you can talk about the economic disparity among the states. So economic disparity में आप क्या कर सकते हो? If you look at the answer itself, I have discussed in this, we have given a lot of fact data. For example, we are comparing the state disparities between north and south state. Now when you talk about north and south states, now let me quote some data. For example, Bihar has a per capita income of 49,000, okay, 49,000 as per 2021-22, whereas similarly Tamil Nadu has a per capita income of, so you can write down per capita income. So per capita income of Tamil Nadu is how much? It is 2.4 lakh. Similarly, UP per capita income of, you can say 70,000. So there is a huge economic disparity among the states related to that. Also, you can say poverty seen more in states with limited resources and capacity. For example, as per Niti Aayog multidimensional poverty index, the poverty in India is around 15%. So as per the data of poverty, it is 15% in 2020, 1921, whereas the same poverty in Bihar is around 52%. So 52% people are multidimensionally poor in Bihar in comparison to national average. So another aspect is that as per the data, the poverty or inequality is more visible in the states. So you can give these data to explain your point. The third point could be the level of industrialization. Okay, for example, Gujarat, Tamil Nadu are more industrialized. Okay, so more industrialized. Are more industrialized. Also, agrarian nature of the state. Example, Bihar, dependence on natural resources. So you are going to give data, for example, Bihar or Chhattisgarh or Jharkhand. So they are more dependent on mining, okay, or agriculture. So moment a state is less industrialized and they are more dependent on natural resources, the per capita income or the state capacity in terms of revenue and taxation will also be there. Okay. Also, fewer job opportunities okay. Again, this is linked with again due to level of industrialization. So I'm just discussing from a layman point because when you see the model answer तो उसमें तो अच्छे से point बना हुआ है, the detail are there. But when you're writing answer in a common way, you have to write in a such manner where you can explain these points. And okay, then the coastal states, they have geographical advantage. Okay, so they have geographical advantage. Okay, that is higher export income, okay. Misbah, is that clear, beta? So that is how you are going to give points that why the inclusive growth is less. Okay, we can add more data. For example, अगर आपके पास poverty का data तो है ही है, you can add data for employment or unemployment, rural. You know, there is less level of industrialization. You can also give an understanding of that these areas which are less developed are lesser industrialized and urbanized also. So ये सब points जब आप लिखोगे with fact data, that will give an insight. Now if you look at the question itself, when you look at the question it's a 10-mark question. So you are going to explain, then the second part would be the solution, how to achieve them. Okay, so this is the first part of the question, 6 points, and how to achieve industrialization. Boost industrial growth एंड इकोनॉमिक इंक्लूजन। ठीक है, so when you look at the question itself, so we'll look at how, what is the way forward, how do we industrialize? Okay, access to resources and policies to promote industries. Okay, then skilling of the population, in poorer states. Okay, then better delivery of service mechanism, for example we have as per Niti Aayog we have aspirational districts, so we can focus on the aspirational districts. So there are 113 districts which can be there. Naturally the focus is more on the inclusive growth. Then similarly single window mechanism, promotion of single window mechanism, and incentives to promote single window mechanism to promote and incentives to promote industrial growth. So I'm just, because when you're writing an answer many a times technical words, keywords नहीं आते हैं, but you can write such points to communicate your effectiveness. Okay, similarly there is a process called competitive federalism. The states should compete among themselves, especially on the economic parameters and development parameters. Okay, so you can add, though even it's a polity word, but I can use here competitive federalism. Better economic policies, okay. So competitive federalism, better economic policies, competition and incentives. ठीक है, so आपका जो मॉडल आंसर है वहीं पर इन पॉइंट्स को आप ऐड कर सकते हो. एंड टैक्स ब्रेक, इंसेंटिव मॉडल, सिंगल विंडो मैकेनिज्म, policies like, let's say you can promote industries like policies like one district one product, यूपी में है. Okay, one district one product. Okay, we can take advantage of the demographic resources that that we have. Okay, so focus would be on industrial growth and economic inclusion. Industrial growth and economic inclusion. Okay, so that completes question number 1. Now we'll go to question number 2. Question number 2 talks about budget cut in मनरेगा. So ये model answer है आपका. If you look at the model answer, this is the model answer. Okay, so model answer you'll have, you can pick the pointers and fact, और आपका जो आंसर या आप जो मॉडल आप आंसर लिखते हो वहीं पर इन पॉइंट्स को आप ऐड भी कर सकते हो लेटर ऑन. इन कंक्लूजन यू विल राइट अबाउट हाउ इंडस्ट्रियल ग्रोथ एंड इकोनॉमिक इंक्लूजन will help India to achieve its goal of 5 trillion economy, or it will improve India to achieve a developed economy by 2030 or maybe 2047, 2040, 2047. Okay, Azadi Ka Amrit Kal. Now question number 2, critically analyze implications of funds cut in allocation of Manrega in budget. So as per budget cut in Manrega. Now let's put the data and fact. How do you start? So here you will define Manrega. Define Manrega. Okay, Manrega. Okay, it's a 100 days guarantee of job for unskilled laborers. Its objective is to ensure financial security and wage employment. Since 2005. Now come to the fact. As per the fact, 25% cut in budget, 30% and 25% cut in budget in last 2 years. Okay? And because these budget cuts are there, now remember Manrega also talks about right to work. So you can write about right to work. So right to work, so it is a law under which the government is supposed to provide 100 days of labor, at least 100 days of labor to unskilled labor, right? Now the fact says that there has been cut in Manrega. Now, so there are two facts. One is the why the fact cut has been there. Now here the question is critically analyze implication of fund. Implication, so we'll discuss about ये तो data है, why हुआ and then implications also. So we'll talk about implications, also why, and the third is way forward. Okay. So we'll talk about why, as per government, there has been increased allocation in other government schemes, and because of revival of the pandemic, the demand for Manrega has come down. But as per the critics, वो उनका कहना है कि भी जॉब का रिक्वायरमेंट तो बढ़ा है, कम कहाँ हुआ है. So you can give the both the side, the government version and the opposite version. Implication क्या होगा? Maybe. So let's talk about why. Increased allocation in other schemes, PM Awas Yojana and PM Awas Yojana, Gramin and Har Ghar Jal. Okay, revival of rural economy, and economy in general. Also, budget increase was during pandemic to cushion, to provide social cushion. ठीक है? So that is what the contention government said. Now since there is a revival of rural economy and economy in general, okay, so there has been 10% growth, nominal growth. In fact, GDP growth has been 7.2% and 9.1%. This is financial year 2022-23 and this financial year 2021-22. Right? So GDP growth is on the higher side, so this is revival. But you can also say, as per critiques, cut impacts more, especially distressed migration people. Okay. Lower financial security. Also, there has been some data I want to give. और क्या क्या issues हुए हैं. If I talk about this मनरेगा itself, इसको नोट डाउन कर लीजिए. ठीक है, तो आपको ये बताना है द डेटा इज देयर, सो यू कैन गिव द डेटा फॉर क्रिटिक्स. फॉर एग्जांपल, द डेटा फॉर क्रिटिक्स कुड बी high unpaid dues, okay. So that is how you can give the data, and way forward. तो इस तरह से you have to give data, and you have to tell that in conclusion that any such measures will have drastic consequences. So government should focus on improving the livelihood of the people, and government should create average opportunities at ground level. तो ये सब आपको एक holistically आपको ये बताना है. You have to give this data holistically. Now going forward, so ये data है, you can read the question further. What are the salient features of foreign trade policy of 2023? Okay, so cut to cut है foreign trade policy. Examine whether it is a vision document to boost India's export. So naturally we'll talk about the foreign trade policy, and in foreign trade policy we'll discuss about the features. Now foreign trade policy is a policy which has come in the backdrop of the old foreign policy had ended. So old foreign policy का जो period था, so foreign policy, the old foreign policy was from 2015 till 20, and there has been revival of the foreign policy, and as per the data, the exports are around 700 billion. Now further, when we look at the foreign F trade policy of 2023, so this trade policy mainly looks at certain areas, for example e-commerce, okay, boosting exports, especially MSME industries. Okay, boosting exports to boost exports to 2 trillion, sorry 200 not 2 trillion, 700 billion, yeah, 700 billion, 2 trillion, yes. Right now we have 700 till, yeah, by 2030. ठीक है, तो ये आपका objective, these are the areas. Further, focus on trade settlement, ट्रेड सेटलमेंट पॉलिसी का मतलब ये है दैट इन रूपी, सो राइट नाउ वी आर प्रमोटिंग इंटरनेशनलाइजेशन ऑफ रूपी. कितनी कंट्री साथ है एज पर आरबीआई? विद 18 कंट्रीज. Then there are measures like amnesty schemes are there. Amnesty schemes are there to promote that. Then entitlements to promote. Okay, why it is important? Because India has a huge potential in terms of export and we need to diversify the exports. Okay, so अगर आप देखोगे second part of the question is examine whether it is a vision document to boost India's export. Answer is yes, it is a vision document because the focus is not only to boost India's export but job creation. Also, exports will help to develop India's capability. Our policy is in line with Atmanirbhar Bharat. So that is also there. तो आप इन points को mention करके you can summarize that. Okay. Then we'll come to the next policy. Question number 3. Blue economy. Okay. If you look at the questions, like discuss the key aspect of blue economy and mention how it provides sea of opportunities. What is blue economy? Blue economy and opportunities due to blue economy. So we'll explain blue economy and explain the potential benefits of that. Potential benefits. तो blue economy को आप explain करोगे. How will you explain the blue economy? You are going to define the blue economy and blue economy is use of sustainable use of ocean resources, use of ocean resources. Okay, for growth and development. Now question comes कि भाई blue economy relevant क्यों है? Why blue economy is relevant? Because India has a long coastline. Okay, why specific to India? Why? Because long coastline. Long coastline. What is the coastline? 7,500 kilometers. We have exclusive economic zones of economic zone. कितना है हमारा zone exclusive economic zone? Around 2.2 million kilometer. Right, that is huge. We have a huge potential for exclusive economic zone we have. ठीक है, what are the potential areas? तो ये सारा आप बताओगे. What are the potential areas? What are the potential areas for blue economy? Potential areas क्या क्या होंगे? Okay, for example, fisheries. When you talk about fisheries, average 10% growth since 2014-15. Huge potential. Okay, for job creation and livelihood support. The second is of course port-led development. So development of ports-led development. We have a scheme called Sagar Mala. ठीक है. The third is we can focus on sustainable use of ocean resources. ठीक है. क्या क्या ओशन रिसोर्सेज का सस्टेनेबल यूज है? फॉर एग्जाम्पल टाइडल एनर्जी. टाइडल एनर्जी का पोटेंशियल क्या है? व्हाट इज द पोटेंशियल ऑफ टाइडल एनर्जी? वेरी हाई. एज पर द डेटा इट इज 12.4 gigawatt. This is the potential. Similarly, wave energy, we can exploit wave energy for creation of power. The potential is around 40 gigawatt. So we need to exploit these resources. Also mineral resources. ठीक है. For example, seaweed mining या फिर polymetallic nodules. Okay. इस तरह से आप हेल्थ ऑफ ओशंस की बात करोगे. देयर आर मेनी पॉइंटर्स आल्सो. यू कैन टॉक अबाउट seaweed polymetallic nodules. You can talk about health of oceans. Sagarmala. Oceans can help a huge source of carbon sink. They will absorb carbon sink and thereby marine organisms को हमें sustain करना है. Ocean sea of resources का मतलब we have to sustain the health of ocean by sustainable fishing and coral protection. ठीक है. जब आंसर लिखते हो तो सब याद नहीं रहता है. यू हैव टू द पॉइंट्स विल कम ऑटोमेटिकली इफ यू मेक एफर्ट. राइट. तो अभी हमको क्या करना है कि एंड देन यू राइट इन कंक्लूजन. ओके. सो देयर आर मल्टीप्लायर effects of blue economy. Job creation, employment generation, GDP growth. That is how you conclude it. Okay, so that completes this question. National logistics policy. सो जो अगला क्वेश्चन है, इट इज ऑन द नेशनल लॉजिस्टिक्स पॉलिसी. एक्सप्लेन हाउ नेशनल लॉजिस्टिक्स पॉलिसी ऑफ 2022 विल बी अ गेम चेंजर फॉर इंडियन इकोनॉमी. सो नेशनल लॉजिस्टिक्स पॉलिसी 2022. Let's first explain logistic in a very. Logistics sector include the entire process of a item, a good moving from the factory to the consumer. Okay, include warehousing, transportation, everything. So we explain logistics, then you give some data. Okay, so if you talk about logistics sector especially, तो अगर logistics sector की अगर हम बात करते हैं, so there are certain strong potential benefit of the sector. The first benefit is that it employs 25 million people. The first. The second part is that it 13 to 15% of GDP. Okay, so which is on the higher side. So national logistics policy is में issues क्या क्या हैं? Why such policy? Why such policy? What are the issues? There are multiple issues. The first issue is poor infrastructure. Okay. Unorganized in nature. Okay, it is unorganized in nature. Then skewed intermodal mix. Example अगर हम लेते हैं, if you look at it, skewed intermodal mix, the example can be said as road transport. Road is around कितना? Road is 65%. Railway is less than 30%. So we have to make sure the seamlessness of the aspect is there. तो वही है, तो आपको नेशनल लॉजिस्टिक पॉलिसी के बारे में you have to explain all these, and there are certain potential benefit of the national logistic policy that you have to highlight. Now, what are the benefit? Okay, quickly you can tell the benefit. For example, you can talk about यूनिफाइड लॉजिस्टिक इंटरफेस प्लेटफॉर्म. ओके, सो क्या करेंगे इसमें? इट विल डिजिटलाइज द एंटायर इनटू सिंगल पोर्टल. सिमिलरली ईज ऑफ लॉजिस्टिक सर्विस, ई लॉग, विल प्रमोट ईज ऑफ लॉजिस्टिक सर्विस, इंटीग्रेशन ऑफ डिजिटल सिस्टम वेयर डेटा और ट्रांसपोर्ट सेक्टर सब इंटीग्रेट होगा सिंगल प्लेटफॉर्म पे. सो दीज आर द पोटेंशियल बेनिफिट विच आर देयर इन द लॉजिस्टिक सेक्टर. तो लॉजिस्टिक पॉलिसी के जो मेजर पोटेंशियल बेनिफिट है दैट यू आर गोइंग टू हाईलाइट, एंड the goals of the policy to reduce the cost of logistics from 14-18% to 8-9%. एग्जाम्पल लेता हूँ, मान लो कोई सामान आपने ट्रांसपोर्ट किया, सो 100 रुपीज में से 14% गोज इनटू लॉजिस्टिक्स और 18, नाउ वी कैन ब्रिंग डाउन टू 8% अगर हमारा ये सारा सीमलेस डेवलप हो जाता है. एंड इट विल बूस्ट इंडियाज अपॉर्चुनिटीज, इट विल रिड्यूस द कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोड्यूस, ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट कम हो जाएगा, एंड इन लॉन्ग रन दिस सेक्टर विल क्रिएट अ स्ट्रॉन्ग बेनिफिट. एम्प्लॉयमेंट जनरेशन भी होगा. नाउ कमिंग टू नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, मेक इन इंडिया, मेक फॉर इंडिया एंड अब्रॉड. सो क्वेश्चन नंबर 6. क्या बताओगे इसमें? मेक इन इंडिया, मेक फॉर इंडिया, So Make in India is a policy launched in 2014 to boost manufacturing sector, increase its share to 25%. सो हमारा ऑब्जेक्टिव है कि हम लॉजिस्टिक सेक्टर को बूस्ट करें. ओके, Now how do we use this make for India? Benefits क्या है इसके? High foreign direct investment, okay. Second is of course ease of doing business, and boost of exports, boost of indigenous production. Okay, recently we have scheme like production linked incentive scheme. तो आप प्रोडक्शन लिंक्ड इंसेंटिव स्कीम की बात करोगे. Okay, so why make for India? So there are two things. Make for India मतलब boost domestic manufacturing. So हमारा production linked incentive में we are trying to boost domestic manufacturing. We have products like schemes like One India, One District, One Product. ऐसे schemes हैं हमारे. Okay, and we'll talk about for abroad. So it is in line with India's Atmanirbhar objective where we want to develop and boost our manufacturing sector. You can give example how India has been trying to allure the foreign investors to invest. लॉट ऑफ फैक्ट्रीज, जैसे बहुत सारे सेक्टर जो हैं, जैसे मेक इन इंडिया में मोर देन 14 की मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेक्टर्स आर देयर जिनका डेवलपमेंट हुआ है. रिसेंटली द इंडस्ट्री ऑफ सिलिकॉन इंडस्ट्री हैज़ बीन गवर्नमेंट प्रमोट कर रही है. तो ये सारा आपको बताना है. एंड ऑल्सो गवर्नमेंट हैज़ डन लॉट ऑफ मेजर्स ऑल्सो. फॉर एग्जाम्पल जो हमारा पब्लिक प्रोक्योरमेंट पॉलिसी है उसमें वी आर ट्राइंग टू गिव प्रेफरेंस टू द डोमेस्टिक मैन्युफैक्चरर्स. तो ये सारे पॉइंट्स जो है अगर आप देखोगे, so these points are mentioned and you have to mention these points in your answers. Now remember the answer is short, 150 word, cut to cut आपको अपनी बात कहनी है. Time is very less. Even though model answer might have more words, but you have to write in short. You can give examples of India's growth story of toy industry, India's growth story of silicon industry. अभी हम ये एक बहुत ही fledgling stage पर है. And then you will talk about way forward. You will talk about way forward. तो वे फॉरवर्ड में आप क्या बताओगे? ओके, हाउ टू कैपिटलाइज इट. सो हाउ डू यू कैपिटलाइज इट? ओके, स्ट्रीमलाइन पॉलिसीज ऑलरेडी है, स्ट्रीमलाइन पॉलिसीज विच ऑलरेडी हम लोग है कर रहे हैं. इनोवेशन, रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट, सो दिस इज इट. तो ये सारा आपको बात करना पड़ेगा. ओके, इजी क्वेश्चन, डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन. क्लस्टर फार्मिंग डिफाइन करो. व्हाट इज क्लस्टर फार्मिंग? हाउ इट हेल्प टू कनेक्ट विद फार्मर विद कंज्यूमर. ओके, सो क्लस्टर फार्मिंग क्या होता है? व्हाट इज क्लस्टर फार्मिंग? क्विकली. सो क्लस्टर फार्मिंग इज अ मेजर वेयर यू ब्रिंग स्मॉल फार्मर्स. क्लस्टर फार्मिंग इज ब्रिंग टुगेदर फार्मर्स, together farm and farmers okay to produce on economies of scale. okay, कैसे करते हैं? So define cluster farming and highlight the need of cluster farming. So cluster farming where multiple small farmers come together और ये बड़े farm create कर देते हैं. The economies of scale goes up, the cost of production comes down. You can share the benefits of the technological inputs and government will implement this. और mainly government focus कर रही है horticultural crops में. फिर farmers को हम we are going to help farmers to come together and they will have information of market access. ठीक है. So the benefits are very much clear. What are the benefits? Income support to small farmers, That is the first benefit. The second benefit would be organizing the market, that is improvement in supply chain, improvement in supply chain, and also address infrastructure gaps. So basically यहाँ पर हमारा जो idea is also to develop infrastructure that will promote the cluster farming. So cluster farming कैसे promote होगा, that will also be discussed. Okay, I hope that is clear. Okay, so further आप benefits बता सकते हैं, how the cluster farming will help in the marketing, infrastructure development, cluster branding and assured procurement. Assured procurement मतलब procurement जो है अच्छे से होगा. So that is how it would be. So this is question number. अच्छा एक से. So we have done question number. Question कौन सा आ गया? Question 8 आ गया. Question 8 talks about, and अच्छा question है. Do you agree with the view that RBI is selling too many dollars and causing depletion of India's foreign exchange reserves and hurting macroeconomic stability? Give arguments to justify your views in is India's falling reserve a cause of concern? तो last year ये था and the forex has been fluctuating. So because there is an outflow of dollars from India, and that is because of increase in the Fed rate hike. So naturally, if we see depletion of dollar reserves, okay, causes and concerns. So क्या करती है? To stabilize, first why? To stabilize the currency, that is rupee, okay, or else heavy depreciation. Fed rate hike, leading to capital outflows. ठीक है, Fed rate hike है due to capital outflows. Then inflation, जब currency weak होती है तो there is an inflation in the domestic economy. Also, okay, reduce the cost of imports. Currency आप depreciate हो रही तो आप रोकोगे तो reduce the cost of import, because when the currency depreciate, the imports becomes costly. तो reduce the cost of imports. तो ये सारी बातों को हमें explain करना है. We have to explain all these factors. Fed rate hike. Fed rate is Federal Reserve of, जैसे इंडिया का RBI वैसे USA का Federal Reserve है. So Federal Reserve क्या करता है, जैसे हम लोग रेपो रेट बढ़ाते हैं, similarly they will raise their interest rate. Why they are raising the Fed rate? Because inflation in the American economy has gone up. American economy inflation क्यों up हुआ है? It is because of after the revival of the economy, COVID से revival हुआ, and that revival led to high demand in the economy. ठीक है? So because of that high demand in the economy, the Fed rate hike has happened. वो लोग अपना इंटरेस्ट रेट बढ़ा रहे हैं, एंड दैट इज अ ग्लोबल फिनोमिना. नाउ जब ऐसा होता है, द करेंसी आउटफ्लो हैपेंस बिकॉज डॉलर वहाँ पे शॉर्ट हो जाता है, एंड द डॉलर विल फ्लो फ्रॉम इंडिया टू दैट कंट्री. सो इंडिया में जो भी इन्वेस्टमेंट्स होते हैं, पोर्टफोलियो इन्वेस्टमेंट, दे स्टार्ट लीविंग इंडिया, देयर इज अ एक्सकर्जन ऑफ फंड्स टू दैट कंट्री, और जब फंड्स का एक्सकर्जन होता है दैट विल, तो हमारी करेंसी भी डेप्रिशिएट होती है बिकॉज डिमांड ऑफ डॉलर गोज अप, रूपी बिकम्स वीकर, एंड दैट इज वेयर आरबीआई इंटरवीन करता है, एंड हियर व्हाट हैपेंस, आरबीआई इंटरवीन्स. सो आरबीआई's intervention to address all these concern, and this RBI intervention, where it uses forex reserve. तो फॉरेक्स रिजर्व होता है तो डिप्लीशन ऑफ द, ओके, सो एक क्वेश्चन उठा दैट इज आरबीआई सेलिंग टू मेनी डॉलर्स. तो आरबीआई क्या करता है, डॉलर को सेल करता है. तो जब सेल करता है तो डॉलर का डिमांड कम हो जाता है, रुपये का डिमांड अप हो जाता है, बिकॉज डॉलर का डिमांड पहले ज्यादा था, बट व्हेन यू स्टार्ट प्रोवाइडिंग डॉलर, द डॉलर ऑफ डिमांड फॉर डॉलर विल कम डाउन. तो आर्ग्यूमेंट्स टू जस्टिफाई योर व्यूज, इज इंडियाज फॉलिंग कॉज ऑफ कंसर्न? वेल, अगर हम इज फॉलिंग अ कॉज ऑफ कंसर्न, is falling a cause of concern? Okay, now when we look at the real data, so हमारा import cover जो है वो 9 months का है. Even in the worst situation, our import cover has never come down before 6-7 months. So having a import cover of 6 months, import cover का मतलब हो गया कि you can do your import up to 6 months minimum, even though if nothing comes in. तो इंपोर्ट कवर हमारा 9 मंथ का है, तो रिलेटिवली स्टेबल है ये. दूसरा है, द सेकेंड फैक्टर इज फ्रॉम हाई ऑफ $645 billion, it has come down to around 580s. So naturally कम तो हुआ है, but still it is not a very it is much cause of concern. Also it impacts the stock market. Because falling reserve means currency का जो buffer है वो कम हो गया है, so that creates a unnecessary panic in the market. Okay, so that panic in the stock market. So RBI, as per the recent policy measure, RBI is doing a good work, and the forex reserve has declined, but it is still in the considerable range where stability of the economy can be understood. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि cause of concern, yes, if this continues then it's a cause of concern, but relatively India has done well to manage the macroeconomic stability, or but in long run what should be the way forward? We should use the reserve only in the extreme volatile situation. Also we should allow the exports to boost. Exports को boost करिए, try to stabilize the economy by that way, because that is a long term solution. ठीक है, तो ये सारी बातों को आप समझा सकते हैं in this. So foreign reserve जो है डिक्लाइन कर रहा है, and intervention to central bank, RBI जो है intervention करता है. Everything that is India's foreign reserve are quite favorable compared, तो रिलेटिवली अच्छा है. इन्फ्लेशन अप इज देयर, एंड ओवरऑल आउटफ्लो हुआ है, सो दैट हैज इम्पैक्टेड, बट ओवरऑल थिंग्स आर मच बेटर. ठीक है, तो आपको क्राइसिस वाली बात नहीं बतानी. यू कैन से दैट इंडिया हैज बीन एबल टू डू बेटर देन द अदर कंट्रीज. डिस्कस्ड गवर्नमेंट एफर्ट्स टू पुट मिलेट्स ऑन द फूड मैप ऑफ इंडिया एंड द वर्ल्ड. Millets are staple food grain. Okay, why in news? Because 2023 was International Year of Millets. On India's insistence, okay, India promoting it to provide nutritional security to the population, तो आप यू आर डिस्कस, तो पहले थोड़ा सा मिलेट का बता दोगे एंड देन यू विल डिस्कस द एफर्ट्स ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट कि क्यों ऐसा हो रहा है, व्हाई वी आर डूइंग दैट. ये 150 वर्ड है एंड यू कैन ऑल्सो, it is a part of PDS system and India facing high malnutrition. ठीक है. टारगेट क्या है? टू बूस्ट प्रोडक्शन अप टू 450 लाख टन्स, 450 लाख टन्स फ्रॉम 170 लाख टन. अभी 170 लाख है. वेरी एम्बिशियस गवर्नमेंट के जो है, वेरी एम्बिशियस. इट्स लाइक क्रैकिंग यूपीएससी इन 6 मंथ. ओके, सो दैट इज द ऑब्जेक्टिव. सो गवर्नमेंट के कुछ एरियाज हैं. व्हाट आर द, नाउ दीज आर द, दिस इज द मैप ऑफ इंडिया फॉर मिलेट्स, ओल्डेस्ट फूड सिंस वेदास है. एंड इंडिया में एक और है, देयर हैज बीन अ रिन्यूड फोकस ऑन अदर क्रॉप्स, व्हीट, राइस, pulses, so that is where government is promoting millets. And millets में India is the largest producer of the millets in the world. You can see Rajasthan, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, Haryana were the top 5. And यहाँ पे government का 7 measure है. Enhancement of production बढ़ाना है, then value addition processing, promoting entrepreneurship here, nutrition and health benefit and international outreach. तो ये 7 areas of effort है जो government ने किया है. You need to highlight these efforts. Sorry. You need to highlight these efforts and what can be done, way forward क्या होना चाहिए. How do we boost production? Create awareness of the potential benefits of millets. Second is production, incentivize production. प्रोडक्शन कैसे इंसेंटिवाइज करेंगे? वाया एमएसपीज, मिनिमम सपोर्ट प्राइस. टू, किसको किसको दे सकते हैं? रागी, बाजरा, ज्वार, these are types of millets. Part of midday meal. ठीक है. तो मिलेट्स को, तो देखो ना, आप सारा टॉपिक करंट से है. इफ यू सी द करंट टॉपिक, यूपीएससी इज वेरी मच आस्किंग क्वेश्चंस फ्रॉम द करंट एरिया. तो ये आपको पूरा बताना है. आज मैं 10 ही कराऊंगा, थोड़ा सा लिटिल आई एम अनवेल, बट आई विल बी टेकिंग वन मोर सेशन नेक्स्ट वीक और इसको हम लोग कर सकते हैं. Okay, now when we look at the question number 10, what are the advantages of digitalization of land record? What initiative should be taken to improve effectiveness of the government's project to digitalize land records in India? ठीक है. Okay, why are we talking about digitalization? Because it is one of the one of the measures of land reform. Land reform. Why? To boost agro productivity. Boost agro productivity. Okay, agro productivity. Why? Because it will help in the credit provision from formal sources. Second is industrialization and infrastructure development, because you need land. जितना land आपका record better रहेगा, industrialization and infrastructure. Similarly, when you look at further, address land disputes. Now when you talk about addressing land disputes, तो आप land dispute को address करते हो, okay? So this will reduce litigations. Litigation मतलब कानून, litigations. 2/3 in India, 2/3 court cases due to land disputes. ओके तो ये सारी बातें हम लोग कर सकते हैं. रिड्यूस बेनामी ट्रांजैक्शंस. बेनामी क्या था? किसी और के नाम आपने प्रॉपर्टी कर दी. ओके जैसे गवर्नमेंट का एक स्कीम था स्वामित्व. स्वामित्व स्कीम. सो इट वाज अबाउट डिजिटलाइजेशन ऑफ रूरल लैंड, ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर लैंड का फोकस था. Okay, so we need to boost all these areas. So digitalization is the very important for growth of India's economy in long run. ये land is a state subject and every state have their own digital land law, but the idea is to integrate them. That is the objective. What initiatives should be taken? There are many initiatives which governments have taken. So let's see the initiatives that has been taken by the government. क्या क्या initiative हो सकते हैं? Now when you look at computerization, if you see the data, only in certain parts of India, in some parts of India computation is there, but still we have a long way to go before जो है आपका computation is complete. So challenges भी हैं, okay, that has to be addressed, but government की initiatives हैं. One initiative is, and you have to remember this, unique land parcel identification number. आधार वे जैसे आधार नंबर होता है वैसे ही आपका you will have ULIP number, ULPIN number for the digital land data. Similarly, National Generic Document Registry System, one nation one registry software data होगा. Villages के लिए we had स्वामित्व scheme, so digitalize the land, and these are the way forward. So when we try to boost the land record system, it will usher development and growth in the country. Long run में एक अच्छा growth होगा, and we will have reduced conflict and better, okay, industrialization के लिए चाहिए, urbanization के लिए चाहिए. तो land record is very important. Integrate land system data if you have, it will help. ठीक है, so that completes the question number 10. ठीक है, अभी 10 क्वेश्चन और मैं नेक्स्ट वीक लूँगा, बिकॉज टुडे वेरी फ्यू स्टूडेंट्स आर देयर इन द क्लास ऑल्सो, बट वे हम दोनों को इंटीग्रेट कर देंगे क्लास को. सो दैट इज हाउ द क्वेश्चन अप टू क्वेश्चन 10 विल देयर. ओके, so thank you very much. I'll be communicating this